My name is Uncle Mark, and I'm working on my wife's 2010 Dodge Grand Caravan. I'm going to try some LED fog lights. Take out the original halogens, see what these are like. See the difference here in the white and the yellowish color, pinkish color. And do a step-by-step. There'll be a link in the description for the ones I'm using. And there should be a little bit of a discount for you as well. Let's take a look at the van. I'm going to start on the driver's side, which is the hardest side. I'm going to take this wheel off, so I've got it on some stands. I've got it secure. So if we look underneath here, there's this plastic cover. Inner fender well, it's held on with a couple of Phillips screws, 2 of them. And then the plastic just kind of goes in behind the bumper and behind the fender. That's how it kind of sits in there. And then there's a couple of these plugs or clips, plastic clips, and there's one right there. It's pretty simple. So basically take the screws out. Just normal Phillips screws. Most people have Phillips screwdriver kicking around. Once you get these screws out, the next step is going to be to get this plastic plug right down in here. One there and those 2. Now they're a little trickier to get out. I've got this tool. It's a door panel tool for this kind of fastener. I'll put a link in the description. I use this lots. Now usually it'll just sit behind them and it'll pop them out. But these are pretty soft. Sometimes you have to sit something behind the tool. I'll pry it out, almost like prying a nail out. They're reusable usually. You can get these at an auto parts store if you end up breaking one. That's kind of what they look like. Let's go on to the other one now. These 2 are tougher. And I figured they're going to probably be in there pretty, tough to get out. So I thought I'm going to probably pry in behind here, and then I'll have the whole plastic piece holding against there. But you see, it still kind of collapsed. This one not easy to get at either. So I thought maybe I can push it with my thumb, kind of help it from not, bending. Here's another one. This might have been out before. That's all it's holding it in. This plastic piece should come out. Easier with 2 hands. Of course, I'm holding a camera with one. You can just pull it out from in behind there. If it's really cold out, this, I guess, could break. I guess it still could break if it's really old. This is 13 years old. It's doing okay. If I can just get it around the strut here. There you go. Still fastened on top. Might as well leave it up there. If we can get it around the rotor here, tuck it in there. Maybe I've got a mud flap too that I'm going to be fighting with to get this in behind here. But I want this sitting out of the way so that I can work without tripping over it. So you'll just have to figure out how to get it in there. There you go. That should sit loud good now. And there it is. That's the light. Now, these are different than your normal kind of lights. They don't really twist and without much work, it popped out. What I should have done, it's a goofy design. I don't know. I've only seen it on this van so far. The socket and the bulb are all one piece. The gray part and then the lighter part is the actual connector. So I'll give you a little close-up idea what this looks like. Just imagine what these are worth. And we see what it looks like. It's got a couple little fingers on the ends that lock into place. Should have been able to squeeze it like this with my 2 fingers and then pull it out. So it wasn't hanging on the best. But maybe it's gotten hot and the plastic is melted or bent a little bit. Warped is the word I'm thinking of. But at least you get to see what it looks like. And you see how those little fingers squeeze in like that. to unlock. That's the theory anyway. I guess I'm not going to be reusing those. Well, I might. Probably hang on to them for something. But I got my brand new Auxito bulbs here. They're fairly reasonably priced. And they're supposed to be a plug-and-play. Got a nice little heat sink on the back. That's what that is. And it's just a couple of LEDs on the front here in that flat piece. Simple enough. So let's figure how this goes in here. Now that plugs in pretty easy. It only goes in one way. There we go. You'll see it had that little notch there that should go into the clip. And the same with these. They only go in one way. And it should just click in. But I found out, yeah, what it should do, and I think it's no fault of the bulb, it's just an old vehicle and things are dirty. Here, we'll show you. It's right here. There is one little notch. On one side it's got one notch. On the other side it has two notches. So you have to figure out when it goes into the assembly there which has the notch and which doesn't. It looks like the one closest to us is the one notch, the one lower down, and these sit on an angle, and it should just click in there. But being new, I had a little bit of fight with it. I was trying to figure out, do you have to clip those with your fingers like we should have been able to taking them out? And then of course once I got it clicked in there, it was like, really? I wanted to show you me putting it in. So let's see if I can get it out now. Yeah, it went out okay. So it should just go in there. You should be able to just squeeze them and push, but I ended up pushing on the back layout and heard one go click. Are they both in there? Yeah. Fight with a little bit more. Oh, there you go. It looks like it's locked in there. Now I want to see what it looks like compared to the other side, so I went and turned it on. And it's hard to see in here, but you can see the color. The left side is the white, it's the new bulb, the other side isn't. But they came on really fast compared to the other side. It was more impressive in real life, but they're nice and white. I had swapped out the headlight bulbs by the same company a while back, and I was pretty impressed with the color of those two. So let's get this piece back in. This is the harder side. The other side is a lot easier. You want to see how that works. Of course, I've put skippable chapters in here. So if you know how this all goes back together, or you think you can always skip to the next part. Otherwise, you might as well see how this sits in here. Also, if you need to re-watch a part. So you see this kind of have fingers. Oh, there you go. It should just slip back in there. If you can get it all in. Then it's put the clips in the holes and the screws back in place. Definitely need two hands for that. So as easy as these seem. Oh, and I forgot that one in there, remember? When we pulled it out, it just kind of snuck out past the plastic. The ears kind of bent, I guess. So I'm going to spray up some WD-40. Try and push it back in, see if I can get it to come out a little easier. I'm telling you, it's really stuck in there. In fact, I ended up having to get some vice grips and grab it to pull it out. Yeah, and it didn't come out. In fact, I think I smacked myself with that. There you go. Some leverage. Should be fun putting that back in. You can buy new ones. I'm going to see if I can put this back in. Otherwise, I do have some. From the dealer, some of them are very expensive. Some of the auto parts stores might have them. If you bring the old one, you probably have to buy a pack of 10 of them or something, and they might be, you know, $1 a piece or something. Maybe half that. I'm going to spray this other one too, just so that it slips in there hopefully easily. It'll hang out, it shouldn't fall out. These plastic pieces isn't heavy or nothing either, it's just basically kind of holding it on lightly. Lots of wiggling. Oh, snapped in. Sometimes you have to tap it with a hammer. Now this one we have to use two hands, so I'll have to set the camera down. And it's just plastic hole with a back plastic hole, line them up, push it in there. It went in real easy. Now we just have the two screws, Phillips. Just have to make sure everything lines up here. Maybe hold it with two hands, and then you have to line that hole up. Now sometimes that's easier said than done. There you go, that lines up really nice. I think on the other side, or once, some time ago, I had this apart. And do you think I could get them to line up? So get your screwdriver. I guess you could just get it to go in a little bit. No, it's going to plastic, so just snug, like very, not over torquing it or tightening it, because you'll strip that plastic. And that looks like it's about it. Now hopefully all the little pieces have lined up. Remember I mentioned a little bit higher up, there's like fingers on that black plastic that are sitting in behind there. And see, somehow this didn't go in right. I don't know. I'm sure I had it in there before. So you might be able to just bend it in. If not, just take the screws off and yeah, it went in. It's fairly flexible stuff. Good. Done. Before we go to the other side, I just want to show you safety first. So I've got a couple jack stands. Well, I've got a jack stand under here, plus I've got a couple jacks. I would not suggest just the jacks. You need a jack stand in there because you never know. They could let go at any moment. Putting the tire back on. Of course, make sure you have your lug nuts handy. And you'll want to, of course, torque them. I just have an electric impact. I just snug them up, and then I'm going to actually torque them to, I think the spec is 100 foot-pounds. You'll want to check your book for that. And then once that's done, we can go work on the other side. Can't hurt to recheck them, you know, 60 miles from now, or 100 kilometers, I guess it would be, here in Canada. Now on the passenger side, look at that. We don't have to take anything off. It's right there. I thought, is there a shield missing or something? But it looks not. So I should be able to squeeze this, I guess, and take the wire out. But nope, the whole unit came out too. It's like, really? I'm sure normally if you want to get that out, it's not going to come out. Again, maybe it's just brittle and old from being 13 years old. We'll show you the drill. You know how we need to squeeze that one thing for the connector to come off. There you go. And the new one, it only goes on one way. That is the side with the clip. Snap it in there, get it to click. There we go. That should stay in. Now, again, we have the same as the other side. One has a couple guides. One has one guide. The other side has two guides, so it only goes in one way. And it looks like the one guide, again, is at the 10 o'clock position, and the two guides are at around the 4 or 5 position. If you're looking at a normal clock with hands. The old timers will know what that means. Lots of fiddling. And this one I had trouble with too. It didn't want to click in. I thought, what's going on? So to save you some time here, and what I would do next time if I was doing both sides, is I'd make that little rubber seal there, the O-ring, lube it up with something. So see that little red or pink ring? It's like a dust seal. Keeps the moisture out and that kind of thing. What it is, I just lightly dribbled some WD-40 on it, on the O-ring, and it went in like a butter. No fighting. Just put that on, gave it a gentle little push, and they went click both sides. That's what I was fighting with the whole time. So nice and tight. It's that easy. That's going to do it for the video. Fairly easy to put in, or fairly hard, depending on if you have jacks or not, and if you're any good at, getting in behind that wheel on the driver's side. Passenger side was a lot easier, but still, it's not the product's fault, it's just tight spaces to get into. If you liked the video though, can you give me the thumbs up, please? You can subscribe down in the corner as well. And I'll put up a playlist for the Grand Caravans. We'll stick this in there just above here. The blue circle with the flashing yellow arrow above it. You click that card and it'll bring you to Grand Caravan playlist for the 8 to the 11s or 10s anyway. This body style. Until next time, I'm Uncle Mark saying I hope you and your family are doing well. Stay safe. Bye-bye for now. Please subscribe and you'll get all the notifications. It's easy. The little dog will show you how. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. Oh. And if you have a Grand Caravan,